to begin my speech by telling you two words: art and science. Two of the main interests of the human race. How many of you like science? And how many of you like art? Well, I see that most of you only put your hand up for one of these two. But what if I told you that science and art are in fact the same thing? Well, you would probably think that I've gone insane. What could these two possibly have in common? Art is delicate, filled with feelings and passion, love and agony, the artist's tears of joy and sadness. And science is cold, filled with numbers, exact data that allows no interpretation, no feelings. And still, they're the same. How come? Well, the key is hiding in a mystery. We, as humans, share a huge desire to understand and discover what stands behind the barriers of the unknown. This has been happening for thousands of years and will probably continue to happen for many, many years to come. Both art and science represent the human attempts to understand and describe what the world around us looks like. Both as an artist and as a scientist, you can say that you're accomplished if you manage to change something in the mind of the other people. Maybe you change the way they look at a flower, or the way they listen to a song, or maybe you change the way they see the universe or atoms. I'm sure you've all heard this name many, many times in your life: Leonardo da Vinci. Who else could be the perfect example of mastering both art and science and binding them together? You all know, of course, that he was an amazing artist, probably one of the best artists to ever live. His paintings are known by everyone, all over the globe. But did you know that he was also an accomplished scientist and engineer? He filled tens of notebooks with ideas and drawings for incredible inventions, such as flying cars. Let's take a look, for example, at one of his most famous works of art, Mona Lisa. You all know her, you've all seen her face surrounded by so many conspiracies. You all know her slight, mysterious smile and her sideway glance that follows you wherever you move into the room. But why is that? How did Leonardo manage to catch her expression so perfectly? Well, the answer is probably predictable at this point: science. He studied the muscles and nerves of the face and lips and recreated her face on a biological level. He understood that science and art fit together, and he went down in history for that. Now, for the next part of my speech, I want you all to look around yourselves. Go on, look around. What do you see? Well, you probably see lots of people. I surely do. I see people who are taller and thinner than me, or have longer hair, bigger eyes. But what are we humans actually? We're just a bunch of atoms. We're a bunch of perfectly arranged atoms that met at just the right moment and place to make each one of us up. They made us up from scratch. Now, what would you call that? Science or art? I'd say both. Let's take a look, for example, at the iris. Can anyone tell me that the iris represents just the two muscular layers that help us perceive light and see? I think not. The iris looks, to me, like a whole galaxy caught in one eye. Did you know that, just like your fingerprint, your iris is unique? There's no any other human in the world to have the same pair of eyes as you. Isn't that art? Because to me, it is. Can anyone tell me that our thoughts, our smiles, or our voices, even though they've been explained by science, are not art? Can anyone tell me that just because one's skin is darker, deeper, or has scars that show the obstacles that they've been through, it means that they're less worthy, less of a work of art? Can anyone tell me that depending on who you love, you're more or less worthy? I don't think so. Can anyone tell me that a work of art born with breasts is less worthy, less powerful than a work of art born with a beard, not born with a beard, who has a beard? I think not. So, to end my speech, I want to tell you this. Look for science in everything. Look for art in everything, in everyone. And just like you don't judge the theory of relativity or the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, don't ever judge the masterpiece of the human race. Thank you.